If you hear your name whispered at 3 a.m., don't answer. Even if it sounds like your mother, you might think it's just a dream, that maybe you're still half asleep, or your mind's just playing tricks on you. But what if it's not? What if someone or something is calling you from the other side of the wall? What if it knows your name, your voice, your habits? What if it sounds like the person you trust most, but it isn't them? You might open your door, or check your phone, or call out into the dark. And that's exactly when it steps closer. You see, there are stories that people whisper about, the kind that don't get shared around campfires anymore. Not because they're old, but because they're real. Not ghost stories, but things that happen in quiet suburbs, small towns, and lonely roads. Things that can't be explained, and maybe shouldn't be. Tonight, you'll hear 5 true stories. Some came from the web, some from people who never told anyone. Until now. And some were pulled from reports that were never supposed to see the light of day. We'll go from abandoned hospitals to trails that disappear from maps, to apartment walls that hide more than just pipes and wires. Every story you're about to hear was sent in, witnessed, or experienced firsthand. All of them ended in the same way, with more questions than answers. So, before we begin, let me ask you something. Which story will keep you up tonight? Leave a comment, share your thoughts. And if something strange has ever happened to you, something you still think about when the lights go out, tell us. We're listening. He heard the front door slam. Loud, sharp, like someone had just come home in a hurry. But here's the thing. His roommate was supposed to be out of town. Out of state, actually. Gone for 3 days. So he froze. Just stood there in the kitchen, holding a mug of coffee that suddenly didn't feel warm anymore. It was around 10:41 p.m., a Thursday night. No wind, no visitors. Just the sound of that door slamming shut behind someone. Or something that wasn't supposed to be there. He waited. Nothing. No keys dropping. No footsteps. No bags hitting the floor. That silence? It was louder than any noise. Soft ambient hum creeps in. He walked toward the living room. Slowly. You know how sometimes your body knows something's wrong before your brain catches up? That was him. Every hair on his arms was standing up. The hallway lights were off. But down at the end, her bedroom door was open. Not all the way. Just a crack. Wide enough to see the closet light was on. That closet light never stayed on. She always turned it off. Always. "Lena?" he called out. Nothing. He tried again, softer this time. "Lena?" Still nothing. Then he noticed it. Her bedroom was freezing. The kind of cold that doesn't make sense. Like the AC kicked in just for that room. He stepped inside, one foot on the carpet, the other still in the hallway. That's when the closet door creaked open, just a little more. He didn't want to look, but he did. The closet? Empty, no shoes, no suitcase, no clothes. Just a bare space with a single hanger slowly spinning like it had just been bumped. Then, something moved behind him. He spun around. There she was. Lena, standing in the hallway. No bags, no coat, no expression. Just standing there, silent, still. "Lena?" he asked again. She didn't say a word, didn't blink, didn't even breathe. He stepped closer. She turned and vanished. Not ran, not walked. She just blinked out like a light switch. 1 second there, the next gone. He barely slept that night, locked every door, checked every corner, and in the morning he called her. No answer. He tried again, then again. Finally, he called the police. The woman on the other end went quiet after he said her name, and then very calmly she said, "Sir, Lena Carson was in a fatal accident last night, around 8:45 p.m. He dropped the phone, couldn't move, couldn't speak. She was dead, but he saw her, heard the door, felt the cold. Later that week, building security gave him the hallway footage, just to help ease his nerves. At 3:06 a.m., the camera showed two figures in the apartment, both in bed, both asleep, him and Lena. The timestamp never skipped. There were no glitches, no edits. The last footage of her alive was in that hallway, 3 hours after she died. Pause, long beat, rain fades in slightly louder. So what do you think? Can someone come back? Right after death? Even if it's just to say goodbye? Or was she never alone to begin with? Let us know in the comments. They hiked into the woods on a Saturday. Mid-morning, clear skies. Just two friends, a day pack, and a plan to be back before dark. They weren't thrill seekers, just two normal guys, Jack and Milo, trying to unplug for a few hours. No tents, no gear, just water, granola bars, and a map app. The trail was marked, well kept, and for the first few hours, it felt like any other hike. Birds, footsteps, that crunch of dirt under your boots. But then, something changed. It started small. Jack checked the app. He frowned, zoomed in, refreshed it, looked up, then back down. "Weird," he said. "We've been walking in a loop." Milo laughed at first, said maybe they missed a turn. But Jack wasn't smiling. They hadn't taken any turns. The app showed they'd circled the same patch of forest 3 times, same direction, same speed, but they never turned around. "Let's backtrack," Jack said. But when they turned to head back, the trail was gone. Not overgrown, not covered, just not there. It was as if the trees behind them had shifted, like the forest had closed in behind them. They left markers, sticks in the ground, twigs shaped like arrows, but every time they stopped and looked back, the markers were gone, not kicked over, not moved, gone. And the silence? It crept in, slowly. No birds, no rustling. Even the wind had stopped. They checked their phones, no bars, no GPS, the map app wouldn't even open. "Let's just walk toward the sun," Milo said. "East leads out, always east." So they walked and walked and walked, but the sun never moved. Jack swore it was still morning. Milo said it felt like afternoon. Both of them were sweating, hungry, tired. That's when they saw it. A light, faint, flickering through the trees. Not a flashlight, not a flare. Just a soft white glow, hovering low, like someone holding a lantern in the distance. "Stay here," Milo said. "I'll check it out." Jack didn't even have time to argue. Milo had already taken off into the trees. 10 seconds passed, then 20, then a minute. Jack called out. Nothing. He followed the path Milo took, but all he found was more trees. And silence, no light, no footsteps, no sign of his friend. He screamed until his throat gave out. Then he sat down by a tree and waited. He must have blacked out, because the next thing he remembers, he was waking up in a hospital bed. Cold 4 in his arm. Dirt still under his nails. A ranger found him curled up by the edge of a service road, covered in scratches, shoes missing. And he was alone. It had been 3 days. But Jack swore it had only been 3 hours. "I didn't sleep," he said. I didn't eat. I just waited. They never found Milo. Not a footprint, not a backpack, not a piece of clothing. The only thing they recovered was his phone. Water damaged, cracked, but one photo remained. Time-stamped 3:06 p.m. on the day he vanished. It was a blurry shot, taken from behind. Jack in front, Milo holding the phone, but standing just a few steps behind them was a third figure. No face, no details. Just a tall, shadowy shape. And it was looking straight at the camera. They say forests are alive. That if you walk deep enough, long enough, something might find you. So, have you ever been lost out there? Ever feel like something didn't want you to leave? Drop your story in the comments. We'll be watching. The mirror in the bathroom was old. Not vintage, not charming, just off. It wasn't crooked. It wasn't cracked. It was just wrong. It hung over the sink like it had been there forever. Bolted to the wall. Edges sealed. No way to move it. But here's where it gets strange. Sam moved into apartment 404 in the winter. It was quiet. 3rd floor. Rent was cheap. But on the second night, he noticed it. The mirror. The glass was always cold. Even when the bathroom was warm and full of steam, the mirror never fogged up. Not even once. At first, he brushed it off. Maybe the ventilation was just weird. But then came the smell. Like old meat, moldy bread, faint but always there. Just behind the mirror. And the sounds. Not voices, not footsteps. Just shuffling. Like fabric moving. Like someone brushing past a wall on the other side. Sam thought maybe it was just the plumbing. Maybe another unit's pipes were running behind the wall. But every time he pressed his ear to the mirror, the noise would stop. Every single time. One night, he stayed up. Waited in the bathroom with the light off. Just to listen. And around 3:08 a.m. it happened again. A long, low scraping sound. Like something heavy being dragged, right behind the mirror. That's when he decided to take it off. It took him hours. He had to cut through the sealant, remove rusted bolts. Behind it was not a wall. It was a hole, a perfect rectangle. Dark, cold air flowing out of it. No pipes, no wires, just empty space. Sam stuck his head in. A room, an entire hidden apartment, cramped, no light, no furniture, just a mattress on the floor. Empty food wrappers, a plastic water jug. It looked like someone had been living there. There was a blanket balled up in the corner. Hairbrush, toothpaste, a half-eaten granola bar, but no one inside. And then he saw the photos, taped to the wall. Right across from the mattress were Polaroids, dozens, all of him, sleeping, cooking, sitting at his desk, all taken through the mirror. He dropped one, picked it back up. It was dated, 2 months ago, long before he ever noticed the sounds. Someone had been there, living in the walls, watching. He called the cops. They searched the hidden space, found more, hair samples, clothes, a phone that wasn't his, but no person. The squatter was gone. But the worst part? The last Polaroid. It wasn't on the wall. It was under his pillow, and it had been taken that same night. Of him. Eyes closed. Face turned toward the mirror, mouth slightly open like he was mid-breath. The photo was taken from inside the bathroom. Not the crawl space, not the hidden room. Someone had been in the apartment, watching him, inches away. So, would you ever check behind your mirrors after this? Maybe you should. Not all walls are solid, and not every home is empty. Just because you lock the door In the town of Dry Creek, there's a road people don't talk about much anymore. Not because it's dangerous, but because it's not supposed to be there. You won't find it on Google Maps. You won't see it on the city's grid. But people swear it exists. Locals call it the Forgotten Driveway. No street signs, no street lights. Just a stretch of cracked pavement that breaks off from Route 19 near the edge of the woods. Fenced in now, overgrown, like something the earth is trying to hide. But that wasn't always the case. Back in the early 2000s, teens would dare each other to drive down it at night. Most turned back. A few didn't. The story that stuck, the one that froze the town in place, happened in October, right before Halloween. 4 kids, a red Honda, and a camera rolling in the back seat. It started like any other Friday night. They laughed, played music, filmed themselves heading to the haunted driveway to prove it wasn't real. The last footage caught them driving under a tree that leaned across the road like an archway. One of them says, "I think we're losing signal." Then, static. When the car didn't return by morning, parents called the police. They searched for days. Helicopters, dogs, nothing. But then, 2 days later, someone found the car. Or at least thought they did. A man walking his dog said he saw it parked just off Route 19, where the driveway used to be. Same red Honda, same license plate, except it was empty, doors locked, lights off, no kids, no signs of struggle. Here's where it gets stranger. A week later, one of the teens, Kyle, was found walking barefoot down a highway 20 miles away. Shirt torn, eyes blank, wouldn't talk, wouldn't eat. Doctors said it was trauma, but Kyle never said a word again. Not about that night, not about the road, not about what he saw. The other 3? Gone, never found. The driveway was blocked off by the town soon after. But people still talk. Whisper, really. Because once in a while, someone claims to see that red Honda. Always late at night, always at the same bend in the road. Engine off, headlights flickering. And inside, 4 teenagers, still silent, eyes wide. But here's the part no one can explain. In every sighting, the kids look exactly the same. Same clothes, same hair, not a day older. And each time someone gets close, the car vanishes like fog. No tracks, no sign it was ever there. So now you know. There's a street in Dry Creek that no longer exists. But somehow, it never really left. If you ever find yourself on Route 19 and see a road with no name, don't take it. Don't stop. Don't even look. Just keep driving. Because some places were never meant to be found twice. It was in the basement of an old records office. The kind of place nobody visits anymore. Rows of metal drawers. Folders yellowed with age that smell of dust and cold paper. The man wasn't looking for anything strange. He worked there, just part-time, filing documents, redacting names, sending boxes to storage. But then he came across a cabinet that didn't match the others, newer, cleaner, like it didn't belong. On the front was a label, one word, unauthorized, and beneath it, handwritten in faded red ink, "Do not open." Most people would have shut it and walked away, but not him. Inside was just one file. No name, no date. But tucked inside the folder was a mini DV tape and a sheet of coordinates. He took it home, hooked up an old camcorder, pressed play. At first, nothing. Just trees. A wide, empty forest clearing. The camera sat still, like it had been set up on a tripod. A low hum in the background, maybe wind. But then, about 6 minutes in, something moved. A man stepped into frame, wearing a dark coat, hands at his sides, just standing there. He didn't blink, didn't speak, didn't move again. For 7 hours, no jump cuts, no edits, just raw, unbroken footage. The man staring straight ahead, like he knew someone was watching. But here's where it gets truly strange. The man checked the file's metadata, the kind that comes with digital backups of physical media, and it listed the date the footage was created. Next week. At first, he thought it was a glitch. Wrong timestamp, corrupted file, something like that. But the date wasn't wrong on his system. Just ahead, a week ahead. So naturally, he went to the coordinates. The clearing was real, just like the video. Same trees, same layout, same stillness. But no man, not yet. That night, he had trouble sleeping. Every sound made him jump. A knock on the window made him freeze. But when he looked, there was no one there. Then, the first letter came. No return address. No postmark. Just an envelope. Inside, the same coordinates. And one line, typed, "Come back at midnight." A week passed. He never went back. But the letters didn't stop. They came once a week. Always with the same numbers. Sometimes with grainy photos. Of the clearing. Of the figure. And eventually, of him. Standing in his own living room. From behind. He stopped showing up to work. Went off grid. No one's heard from him since. But the archive cabinet? Still there. Still locked. And sometimes, just before closing, you can hear a faint click from the bottom drawer, as if something inside is waiting to be found. You made it to the end. Or maybe it made it to you. Not every story has answers. Not every knock needs to be opened. And not every shadow means someone's there. But when it feels like it is, maybe you'll remember tonight. The footsteps, the forest, the mirror, the camera, the driveway that never ends. You might tell yourself they were just stories, someone's made-up dreams, or memories warped by fear. But the thing is, every single one came from somewhere. A person, a place, a night that didn't go how it was supposed to. And even now, while the rain taps your windows, and your room grows darker than you remember, and the hum of the world slips into silence, something in the back of your mind might still be watching. That door you locked twice, the closet you didn't quite shut, the photo frame that looks a little off, just enough to make you look again. Some of these stories, you could explain. A coincidence, a trick of the light, a mind playing games. But some of them, you can't. And neither can the people who live them. Yet, they all have one thing in common. They have left someone, somewhere, afraid to close their eyes. And maybe, tonight, that someone is you. So now I ask, which one got to you the most? Which one will crawl into your dreams? Leave a comment below. And if something's ever happened to you, something strange, something you still can't explain, we're listening. And if you made it this far, thank you. Thank you for spending your night in the dark with us. There are more stories waiting. Some old, some new, some already watching you. Subscribe for more true horror. Sleep tight, if you can.